Nestled deep within the remote Hessdalen Valley in central Norway lies one of the world's most enigmatic, I knew I was going to mess that word up, and persistent aerial mysteries, the Hessdalen Lights, often dubbed Norway's Roswell. This phenomenon has captivated scientists, skeptics, and UFO enthusiasts alike for decades. Welcome to Shifting Veils. My name is Michelle.
And I am Isaiah, and this is where we talk about things we find just outside of Clearview. If you're drawn to the unexplained, the possibly paranormal, and all things strange, stay with us. Like, follow, subscribe, and share our Spotify and YouTube with your fellow seekers of the dark.
Nestled in, I'm going to mess this one up too, Trondelag. It's kind of a fun word, Trondelag. Sounds like it's supposed to be like in a song or something. Um, Nestled in Trondelag County, not far from the historic mining town of Roros. That one's short. I shouldn't have a hard time with that one, but I kind of messed that one up too. Lies the Hessdalen Valley. At first glance, it is the picture of tranquility, a rural stretch of land only 12 kilometers long, it's not even 8 miles, cradled by mountains and draped in thick forests. Fewer than 100 people call this quiet valley home, living in harmony with the stillness of their surroundings. Yet beneath its serene beauty, Hessdalen holds a secret. For decades, this remote corner of Norway has been the stage for something unexplained. Strange lights that cut across the sky, appearing without warning, lingering without reason, and leaving behind more questions than answers. While many first encountered widespread reports of the phenomenon in the early 1980s, the mystery of Hessdalen extends deeper into the past. According to local memory and archival accounts, residents spoke of unusual glowing orbs hovering over the valley, strange wispy lights that made no noise, as far back as the 1930s, though earlier anecdotes suggest the phenomenon may reach even farther into the valley's folklore. Yet it was the sudden surge of activity between December 1981 and mid 1984 that catapulted Hessdalen into global awareness. During that peak, the lights appeared up to 15 to 20 times per week, provoking intense curiosity from scientists, journalists, UFO enthusiasts, and tourists alike. From that point on, formal investigations began to take shape.
In 1983, Project Hessdalen was launched, marking the beginning of organized scientific study. In 1984, a detailed field investigation recorded 53 incidents of anomalous lights, visual captures, radar hits, and magnetometer readings. In 1998, the Hessdalen Automatic Measurement Station was installed, establishing continuous automated observation of the phenomena. In 2018, the Hessdalen Observatory, a solar-powered research station nearly 1,000 meters above sea level, was established. When witnesses describe the Hessdalen lights, their words paint a picture that borders on the unearthly. They speak first of color, brilliant hues that cut through the darkness of the valley. Most often, the lights appear in shades of pure white, molten yellow, or a deep, burning red. On rarer nights, they shimmer in unexpected tones of green or blue, casting a spectral glow across the mountainside. The forms themselves are just as varied. Sometimes they emerge as radiant orbs, floating silently as if suspended on invisible strings. Other times, they erupt in sudden, blinding flashes or stretch into narrow beams that slice through the air. On certain occasions, the lights take on more defined, almost geometric shapes, forms that suggest structure, as though something more tangible lies within the glow. And then there's their behavior, the part that has confounded scientists, locals, and visiting researchers alike. At times, the lights hover without motion, locked in place for long, eerie minutes. Long? And then, without warning, they sway gently like lanterns drifting on an unseen current. Just as suddenly, they will dart across the valley at speeds no human technology could match. Witnesses report them dividing into smaller fragments, breaking apart and scattering like embers, only to rejoin moments later. Others describe beams shooting downward, illuminating the forests, fields, or even the river below. What makes them even more baffling is their indifference to conditions. These lights do not wait for clear skies or still nights. They emerge in daylight and darkness, in fog, snow, or heavy rain, as though weather itself has no bearing on their presence. But perhaps the most unsettling accounts are those in which the lights appear tethered to something unseen, moving in perfect formation as though connected to an invisible craft. Some locals swear they have seen them outline the contours of solid objects, shapes eerily reminiscent of the classic saucer. Each sighting deepens the mystery. Are they natural phenomena, born of some unknown atmospheric process? Yeah, it's just weather balloons. Are they machines guided by intelligence we do not yet understand? Or are they something else entirely, at an intersection of the known world and a realm that lies just beyond our comprehension?
This isn't the only place this type of phenomena happens. I mean, there's lots of places all over the globe where these different lights happen. I will say that I've watched videos of the Hessdalen Lights. We actually have a video of the Hessdalen Lights on our website. Um, but out of all the other phenomena that I've seen um, in any kind of photographs or video or talked about, none of them really kind of are. They don't appear the same as the Hessdalen Lights, but there are other places. I mean, there's um, a town called Marfa in the Chihuahua Desert. I think that's in Texas. The Marfa Lights, and then I think Australia has a place that has some of them. Um, but I mean, and they all go back. They all go way back into like the 19th century. Um,
And they all do the same thing.
they don't all do exactly the same thing. Like in the Naga fireballs in Thailand, those are like the red fireballs that rise from the river into the sky, and that makes me think of like a gas or something. Um, with that one, there's like a local legend that it's like a serpent breathing fire.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're not all the same. Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina, they're multicolored lights that float above the ridge. Um, they were first recorded in the 1900s in like Cherokee lore. Um, I think they're, yeah, multicolored lights. They flicker, they hover, they move erratically. So they're kind of similar to Hesselen.
Do,
Um,
do we have stations at all of these locations, or
I
just for the Hessdalen?
I know for sure Hesselen has stations. I'm not sure about other ones. That's something definitely to look into. I
Hmm.
don't know if other places have set up stations. I think the Hessdalen Lights drew so much attention during that period during the 80s. It was so heavy that they just and they didn't stop. They didn't go away. Um, they just kind of set up shop there. They're like, okay, well, we can actually get some information from these because they're staying. We can keep studying them. I don't know if other places have done that. They might have. We'll have to look into that. Um,
I was gonna say because some if so, the Hessdalen lights really attracted attention in the '80s, right? You said,
yeah,
but like some of these, like the Brown Mountain lights, they you said were 1900s, so
yeah. A lot
earlier
of
than
them
the
were.
80s.
Yeah, a lot of them were. There was some lights in Arkansas, Gurdon lights, in the 1930s. So a lot of these were way before the 80s. I just don't know that any others have had such a huge influx like the Hesselen lights did in the 80s. Um, so I don't. It could just be that technology was changing around that time, so they
Sure.
they were
Yeah.
able to study it more. But I was always under the impression from everything that I read and watched that the reason why it has gotten so much more research done on it, it's because it is so it's still, it's still happening today.
Hmm.
They don't happen um in as much abundance, but they still happen today. So it's just kind of wild.
Is
But
similar to. So you've watched a video. Is it similar
mhm,
to like the Northern Lights sort of thing?
it doesn't look like that at all.
No.
It doesn't look like that at all. It doesn't look like, you look at the Northern Lights and you think, magnetic. Um, it doesn't look anything like that. It also doesn't look like gases. The way that they dart and move, um, it doesn't. Now, there's times when they just hover, there's times when they float, and you could think maybe gases, but there's other times whenever they dart and move really erratically, and I don't see how that could be gases.
And
I personally don't have a theory on what they are. So,
and see what I was imagining with the Hessdalen Lights was more of a tapestry, not a tapestry. Sorry, when I think of the Northern Lights, I think of a tapestry, right? So
yeah,
it's like a big blanket basically covering the sky. Whereas this feels more like I haven't watched it yet, but with these descriptions here, it makes me think more like Space Invaders, where you see embers, getting scattered, coming back together, stuff like
kind
that.
of.
So it's kind of like
Yeah, kind of.
pixels.
And you do, yeah, we do have a video on the website, but if you're going to look into it, if you want to look at it more, you need to look at several different videos because they don't act the same every time. There's times whenever there'll be a series of lights that kind of move all together really slowly, and then there's other times whenever like they pop up and disappear, or they scatter, like we were reading, or they dart. Not all the videos are the same. It seems like it was the ones where they were in large formation. There's more videos like that, and I think it's just because they lingered longer, so it was easier for people to get video of them. But I think there's constant surveillance on it anymore. So, and I don't know. There's a lot of videos out there that you
And
can
see
look. Some,
that would make sense with like constant observation. I mean, they put stations up there for the Hesston Lights, so I assume that they've got cameras on them,
yeah,
24/7.
yep.
But that's good advice for when you research anything. Don't go off of just one article or
Oh
one
no,
story or one video. So I
I'm a
mean,
fan of
listen to
three or more.
Michelle. Yeah, just make sure you're checking everything out. Not everything's true either out there. So,
Yeah, no, I definitely like to get at least three good sources, but if I can get more than that, then I'm happy.
oh sure.
Excuse me.
Um, all right. So these are some common threads and scientific hypotheses. Across these phenomena, several recurring themes emerge: remote locations, often in geological active or isolated regions; plasma theories, there's ionized gases; radon decay; and piezoelectric effects. Cultural lore, there's indigenous stories often that predate modern sightings, like the one that we just spoke of
Mm-hmm.
had back in the 30s. There's
Yeah,
lore about it from the 30s and stuff.
yeah.
Um, Scientific ambiguity. Despite decades of study, no unified theory explains all cases. There's never gonna be, especially with how erratic they sound like they're doing. You
Yeah.
know, the way you described it. Uh, in a lot of these cases, there's multiple locations, but each of them sound like they have different activity and different behaviors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone just Hessdalen. Hessdalen sounds like it's got multiple different personalities in itself.
Yeah.
Um, some researchers propose that these lights may be Earth lights, a geophysical phenomenon linked to tectonic stress. Um, Ball lightning, a rare atmospheric electrical event. That sounds like a easy try. Like somebody's trying to have a lazy explanation with ball lightning.
I've heard ball lightning used as an explanation for a few things. One of them was the black shuck. when we did that episode
Yeah, I
on that
remember that in the
research.
church. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to blame that on ball lightning. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
no. I feel like ball lightning is a real like event. It's
It
something that actually
is,
happens. But
but it's
when
not a black
people
dog.
use it's not a black dog. It's not gonna be some weather balloon. It's not gonna be
Right.
some yeah. I mean, it's a lazy explanation for a lot. It's a lazy theory for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Plasma formations triggered by magnetic anomalies or gas emissions, unknown natural physics, possibly involving subsoil phenomena or quantum effects. Um, what makes Hessdalen so compelling is that each theory, no matter how convincing, leaves room for doubt. There's always doubt. Each attempt at explanation leaves a shadow unaccounted for. The lights persist, immune to headlines, immune to final answers, as though daring us to keep watching. Over the years, the Hessdalen Lights have not faded into obscurity. They have been captured, measured, and studied. This is not a phenomenon built solely on campfire tales or whispered folklore. They have been photographed and filmed extensively, their strange glows appearing again and again in the lenses of locals, tourists, and professional researchers. Time lapse footage reveals orbs drifting across the valley like sentinels. Handheld recordings show sudden bursts of light that appear and vanish before the human eye can fully register them. Sounds like paranormal activity sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah,
But the,
it's really wild because there's so many different things that they do. There is not one single theory that can be applied to it because they just do so many different things. It's like if when they do this, then it sounds like this theory, but when they do that, it sounds like this theory, and it can't be that other one.
right,
So
keeping people on their toes.
yeah,
But the mystery extends beyond mere visuals. The lights have been tracked by radar, confirmed their presence as solid echoes, not just tricks of vision. Magnetometers have registered their disturbances, suggesting that whatever the lights are, they have the power to disrupt the very magnetic field around them.
hmm. These are not stories confined to local gossip. They've been documented in scientific journals, examined in research papers, and debated within the academic world. And in the realm of popular culture, they have earned their place as well, featured in documentaries, news reports, and most recently in Netflix's top secret UFO projects, Declassified. The evidence builds layer upon layer: photographs, film, radar returns, magnetic anomalies, a body of proof that insists whatever is happening here is real, and yet real does not mean explained. Before I go on, you said something about it has the power to disrupt magnetic fields, but it's not calling it magnetic.
Right. And so, I mean, I would assume that that's just another behavior then. Like we said, there's different personalities to these Hessdalen lights. So I assume because it's being picked up on radar, and I assume there's sometimes when it doesn't get picked up on radar. Um, so it is disrupting, but there are times that it's probably not going to disrupt, and then I don't know. I feel like it's just another behavior. I would think.
Yeah, that was something that was really interesting to me though whenever I started researching it, was that it wasn't just like a light, it wasn't just something you saw or thought you saw. It was actually picked up on radar. Like airships are picked up on radar, like birds are picked up on radar. Whenever down in Texas there's so many caves, and you can see on radar when the bats leave the caves every night.
Hmm.
There's just this like this big bloom on the radar. So it's if they're picking up on radar, it makes you think of a physical body, but
Right.
is it a physical body?
Well, there's something physical about them if they are getting picked up on radar.
I mean, that's what you think. That's what I would think.
Hmm.
There's something physical about them. Um,
The thing that I'm like picking up on that though too is that the lights themselves are getting picked up. It's not like they're attached to something at these points that are getting picked up either. Some larger object that they're attached to isn't getting picked up, just the
right,
lights. So
right.
that's odd.
It is odd. Um, the Hessdalen Lights remain one of the rarest enigmas of our time. Aerial phenomena that are not only seen but measured, repeatable, and recorded. Few mysteries offer such a wealth of tangible evidence, and yet so few answers. Whether they are born of hidden natural forces, the byproduct of unseen technology, or something that defies both categories altogether, the lights press against the edges of what we think we know. They challenge our understanding of physics, they unsettle our grasp of geology, and perhaps most haunting of all, they question the very reliability of human perception. Here, in this quiet Norwegian valley, the ordinary and the impossible seem to converge. The Hessdalen lights remain, not fading, not explained, just waiting for us to look up. In the quiet valley of Hessdalen, the lights still flicker, less frequently now, but no less mysteriously. They beckon us to look up, to question what we think we know, and to embrace the unknown. Whether you are a scientist, a skeptic, or a seeker of the strange, the Hessdalen lights offer a rare glimpse into a world where mystery still reigns. And we want to hear from you. If you've ever experienced or witnessed something unexplainable, or have your own spine tingling story to share, leave your comment or send us an email. Or if by chance you've been to Norway, you've seen the Hessdalen lights, we want to hear from you. Your experiences could become part of the conversation and maybe, just maybe, help us all understand a little more of what lies beyond the ordinary.